Passport. Taste, travel, and live well.
And welcome back. I'm Michele Johnson. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon on the launch of the new show, Michele Johnson's Passport, Taste, Travel, and Live Well. I am thrilled to be here with you. I'm thrilled to bring New York City a new lifestyle talk show. So really briefly, just to tell you, this show is going to bring you the best in travel, food and wine, wellness, because I'm a big health and wellness person. So it's going to cover that, and it's going to cover the arts. Anything and everything you want to know that's going on in New York City. And for that, I have with me my friend, colleague, CEO and founder, editor-in-chief, Mark McLaren of CLNYC. Mark, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Sure.
Thrilled to be here on your debut show,
I'm thrilled
Michele.
that you're here. So we met last year, and we met right before the big Westminster show at Madison Square Garden.
We did.
And you had put together an amazing event. You brought together I don't know how many people you had there in your group, but we had the most fabulous time. We had a cocktail hour first, and then we saw all the dogs getting groomed, and then we all got to watch the show together.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
And it's coming up again. I can't believe it's almost here
I know,
again.
a year's over, and we're going again this year.
Oh, awesome.
So we're looking forward to it.
Yes. So tell me really briefly and tell everybody, what can people expect from CLNYC?
CLNYC, www.zlnyc.com, is a destination, a single-source destination for the most up-to-date news and information around New York City arts and entertainment. So we really look to curate and to find the most unique and the most interesting things going on, and we send our readers there.
And I love it because there aren't really any sites, I feel like, that have that. I mean, I know you have some magazines that have been around for a while that list, but I always found them very confusing and not really a central place to list everything from theater to concerts to... So I love your site.
Thank you.
I think it's great. And
Thank
you have quite the background. You used to be a conductor on Broadway.
I actually did, yes. Yes, I was a conductor.
I had no idea. What shows did you conduct?
I did Phantom of the Opera. I did Cats. I did Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, wow.
Titanic.
That's so much
fun.
So
had a lot of fun doing that.
So you're quite immersed in the theater scene as it is.
I do.
Yeah.
I've worked in it, and I follow the theater and music and arts religiously.
Yeah. Well, it comes across. So tell me. So Valentine's Day is next weekend.
It is.
And people are always worrying, last minute dinner reservations, which can be overpriced and overcrowded. And what are some fun things that people can do, some events that are going on next weekend or around next weekend that might make a good Valentine's Day thing to do together with your honey? Okay,
absolutely. So there's no better place to be than in New York City at Valentine's Day, right?
There's no better place to be
anytime.
Exactly.
Right. So we've got some great events coming up. We want to call out first a great event at Jazz at Lincoln Center. So this is a wonderful resource in New York City. They have just an amazing amount of programming going on.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, on the 13th and the 14th, they're bringing Freddie Cole
to
Dizzy's Club Coca-Cola.
Okay.
So now, we know a couple weeks ago we lost Natalie Cole.
Right.
And Freddie is Nat King Cole's brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's been working in the business just as long. He started at the same time as Nat.
Right.
Is a beautiful, beautiful stylist.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing 4 shows next weekend at Dizzy's. Dizzy's is a fantastic room. It's right on Central Park. Fantastic views of the park, very elegant, nicely priced. It's a great destination after an event. So if you've gone to the theater, they have a late night where artists who have been performing there.
Oh, get out. They go there after. Oh,
brilliant.
That's fun.
It's fabulous.
That's a lot of fun. Okay, burlesque. What's going on in the burlesque world?
Okay, so burlesque is actually having this big resurgence in New York City. And there's a company called Company 14. This is run by their artistic director, Austin McCormick. And they're doing a residency at the Minetta Lane Theater this year. This is their third program. They do his language is somewhere between Cirque du Soleil, Baroque opera, and burlesque.
That sounds so interesting.
It is fabulous.
That sounds amazing.
It is. He did Nutcracker Rouge over Christmas, which was tremendously successful, sold out, their entire run.
And tickets are only $30 to $55?
Exactly. Very, very small space, so it's a great, that's a great and very romantic destination
Love
for
it.
Valentine's Day.
Okay, what else?
So, nothing is more romantic than the Metropolitan Opera. Ask Julia Roberts or Cher, right?
I am embarrassed to say, I probably shouldn't even admit this, that I have not been to the opera. I've been standing outside Lincoln Center when they've been broadcasting the opera on their opening night, and I stand and I watch it, and when they broadcast it in Times Square, but I've never been to the opera.
Okay, I'm telling New York City that I'm taking Michele Johnson to the opera the next time I go.
Yes!
So, the Met's a great destination, and particularly in the last 10 years, Peter Gelb has really reinvigorated the Met, bringing new productions. And you really see it in the audience. It's a much younger audience. It's a much more urban audience. So lots of fun going on there. This week, they are premiering a new production of Manon Lescaut. Mm-hmm. So this is a Puccini opera about a French courtesan. It stars the beautiful young Latvian soprano Christine Opole in a production by Richard Eyre. Now, Richard Eyre did their Carmen about 2 years ago, which is just sizzling, sexy, hot. Mm-hmm. So lots of anticipation for Manon Lescaut. So that's on the 15th.
Great. Now, what if somebody has a pooch that they want to, I know my mom, for instance, her 15-year-old pug, she won't go anywhere without him. So what can she do on Valentine's Day with her little puggy?
So Valentine's Day is more for just lovers, right?
Uh-huh.
More than just for lovers. It's for the whole family.
Well, if you ask her dog is her main.
Well, yeah, and dogs are, in New York City, a dog is part of the family in many, many households.
Right.
So we've got a fantastic event that's happening at the Bonham's Auction House. Mm-hmm. So Bonham's is a very old world art auction house. They are doing a benefit for the American Kennel Club Humane Fund on Valentine's Day from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Called Barkfest at Bonham's.
I love it.
It's great. So it's a champagne brunch. You preview their Dogs in Show and Field art sale, and you bring your dog.
I love it.
It's
Perfect.
fun for the whole family.
Perfect. And speaking of dogs, so if people do want to go to Westminster, which is coming up next week as well, how can they get tickets through you?
They can visit CLNYC.com, take a look at our landing page, and you'll see our Westminster Kennel Club offer, and happy to have you as our guest. It's a blast, right?
Yes.
That event is so much fun.
Such a
There's
blast.
nothing better than Westminster.
It's so fun. And I had never been to that before until last year. And just the thing that you go to beforehand where you see, these dogs get made up more than I've ever been. They have straight irons going through their hair and curlers. It's really a lot of fun.
Exactly. We could all use that kind of attention.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Okay, so last minute, what else? Really quick.
Quickly, I would hit, Harlem is having I wouldn't say a resurgence because it's always had such a rich cultural heritage, but the food scene in Harlem is exploding, as is the jazz scene. So we've called out a Valentine's Day brunch and dinner at Minton's. So Minton's is at 206 West 18th Street. Fantastic jazz, fantastic food, and that's part of a whole scene that's happening in Harlem. Everyone should be running to Harlem to keep up on what's going on.
All right. Mark McLaren, thank you so much. I hope this is one of many visits I see from you here.
Likewise.
All right.
Congratulations,
thank
Michele.
Thank you so much. It's so great to have you here. Again, you can go to ZLNYC.com. And coming up next, Stephen Hirsch. You may recognize him from the Shark Tank. He has a line of luggage, Biaggi luggage, which I personally think is the coolest luggage I've ever seen. Your calls and Stephen coming up next on Michele Johnson's Passport on AM 970 The Answer.
Mike Gallagher sees two reasons for Bernie Sanders' rise.
It would be because of perhaps millennials who are very excited about free stuff, because that's what Bernie Sanders keeps offering. Meanwhile, Hillary is up to her eyeballs with the new reports about top secret emails on her server. Most people don't trust her, and maybe this is why a 74-year-old socialist is doing so well.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekday mornings at 9, right before John Gambling at 11 on AM 970. The Answer.
2 little tablets is all it takes to make your thin hair feel and look thicker and fuller, guaranteed. Viviscal is the #1 drug-free hair growth supplement in the U.S., with 1 box being sold every minute globally. It's clinically researched to promote existing hair growth for men and women, and now a 90-day supply of Viviscal is offered in your area risk-free plus free shipping. Call 800-539-1900. Viviscal nourishes thinning hair from within. You'll love your hair growth results, guaranteed. Viviscal is so effective effective, it's recommended by top doctors. Here's Dr. Grant Stevens, board-certified plastic surgeon.
I feel confident recommending Viviscal to women with hair loss, thinning hair, or even dry or brittle hair. It's 100% drug-free, and it's backed by years of clinical research.
Want to try Viviscal? Every listener that calls now gets a 90-day risk-free supply plus free shipping. Call now, 800-539-1900, 800-539-1900. That's 800-539-1900.
Want to listen to AM 970 The Answer on the go? There's an app for that. Download our free smartphone app so you can listen to all your favorite shows, keep up with us on social media, enter contests, win prizes, and even interact with our hosts, all in one place. Just search AM 970 The Answer in the iPhone App Store or the Google Play Store for the Android. Again, search AM 970 The Answer and download our smartphone app today. That way, you can take us wherever you go.
Breaking news and local news. Find it on our website, am970theanswer.com.
Welcome back to Michele Johnson's Passport. Taste, travel, and live well.
And I'm Michele Johnson. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am very excited to have my next guest in studio. And a big thing that we're going to have on this show are really innovative products, things that make your life easier, whether it comes to traveling, to wellness, anything at all. And I've been saying that I need a better suitcase because I just finally got with the program and got one of the spinner suitcases on 4 wheels, and it's changed my life. It's amazing. But it's this big 29-inch suitcase, and it takes up half my studio apartment. And then the answer to all my problems, Stephen Hirsch, who I met last week. He is the founder and CEO of Biaggi Luggage. It's an innovative travel goods brand. He manufactured various lines of luggage, and you may recognize him from ABC's Emmy-winning Shark Tank and now ABC's Beyond the Tank. Hello, Stephen.
Hi, Michelle. Thank you for having me on.
Sure. Thank you so much for being here. So when I walked into that event last week where you had your product, I was in heaven. And I said, and I waited because you were just coming back from a ski trip, I believe. And I said, I have to speak to this guy.
Yeah.
So tell me, first of all, how did you get into your business?
So I kind of grew up in the bag business, you could say. My father started a handbag company called Rosetti, and It was kind of a natural progression. That company also made a lot of very innovative, different. It was the first company, just to give you an example, that put a cell phone pocket on a woman's handbag, something that you just see everywhere now. And
right. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and just things like that, always something a little bit different. And we got into the luggage business. It was kind of a natural progression, and we wanted to solve a problem, and that's what we did.
You sure did. And Lori Grainer from QVC has realized that you've solved that problem.
Yeah.
And you've been quite successful. So tell me a little bit about your different products here. I know you they're so colorful. I brought with me today my orange wheelie, which I absolutely love. I stuffed it with so much stuff, and then it was just great. And as I was walking out of my building, somebody was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, since we've been in the bag business, it's really about the bag more than anything. And then we have this added feature, which is really a game changer, the fact that the bag folds.
Yes.
And it's not only, at the beginning, we're New Yorkers. So we were thinking, okay, this is exactly perfect for what New Yorkers need. Luggage takes up a ton of space. That's the one problem that nobody's thought of or bothered to solve. And we figured that we'd really have something if we could do it. And the thing is, we've been realizing that a lot of people, even in suburban areas, want these bags because the luggage takes up an entire spare bedroom.
Absolutely.
It takes up your closet, your garage. I mean, who doesn't have a garage or a closet cluttered with luggage?
Yeah, anytime you could avoid clutter, it's preferable. I don't care how big your home is. And they're also great if you're taking a cruise because, they give you very small compartments where to put your luggage when you're on a cruise ship.
Yeah, cruisers, something like 3 million, I don't remember the number, but it's over 3 million Americans that go on cruises every single year. And they also absolutely love our bags. They give you these tiny cruise cabins. A lot of times they make you check the bag in someplace so you don't even have it with you,
right.
because it won't fit. And our bags will fit under your bed. They'll fit in a closet. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So you have here a bunch of them. Tell me, what's the one that is tightly wrapped in this little pouch that you would never know turns into this huge duffel bag? Tell me about that one.
All right. So this is actually our best-selling item. This is our zip sack. We came out with this later on. As kind of just, we wanted something that could really fold like into almost nothing. And this very, very quickly became our bestseller. This is what Lori Grenier sells on QVC. As a matter of fact, when I was on Shark Tank, and the product that I'm showcasing was my regular trolley luggage, which is basically, it's like a suitcase. You can't tell the difference between our suitcase and anybody else's suitcase. You'd never know it folds. And she, the whole time, had her eye on this bag.
I know. She was like, no, I don't like this. I'm like, I love the other suitcase, though. I'm like, that's perfect.
I also love it. I was a little surprised, but you know what? It plays great to the audience on QVC, and the truth is there's a lot of stores like the Container Store where we've been in for a while, and they do really great with this because people are really conscious these days about, and they should be, we have so much stuff in our lives, it's unbelievable.
Yes.
So I mean the luggage, that's just unsolvable, but it's not, because we solved it. And this little bag that you were asking me about is called the zip sack. It's a tiny pouch and it turns into a large 4-wheeled suitcase. You'd mentioned that you just switched to the 4 wheels. Anybody listening out there who's not using a 4-wheeled bag.
It really is, especially even if you don't have bag issues, but anything. To not have to drag a suitcase behind you and you could just walk next to it.
I know. Like people are very resistant to change sometimes. Even wheels on bags. I was reading an article that the guy who invented wheels on a suitcase met so much resistance. All the buyers of the department stores like, why would anybody buy this? It's called luggage. You're supposed to lug it around. You don't want a wheel.
Funny.
I know. And the 4 wheels is just like, hello.
Exactly.
Where's that been?
I think the next is where you actually sit on your luggage and there's a remote control and you could just ride it everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Luggage is so big that all these companies now are figuring out different things you could put on it. They have GPS tracking devices and all these things, but I know it's wild.
It's crazy. Okay, so what else do you have there?
So we have these zip sacks, which is the little pouch. Then we have our conventional suitcases, which is called our Contempo collection. That's the collection that it's called. And these are trolley cases that have this patented hinge on the bottom, because in order to have 4 wheels on a bag, it has to have a completely structured bottom. Right. So we had to figure out a way to make that bottom fold, but if it's completely rigid, how is it going to fold? So we invented this hinge, which is kind of smack in the middle of it.
And you showed me how it's amazing. And it's so easy. It's
very easy
little
to
turn
do.
And it collapses.
Just like that.
Perfect. Okay, and let's see what. Oh, you have a new thing that you just came out with that is going to be on QVC in May, right? The perfect garment bag. I know when I'm going to the airport and I'm schlepping my garment bag, it's kind of all over the place. There's no structure to it, and lo and behold, you've solved that issue too.
This is the Hangaroo.
The Hangaroo.
So, because like a kangaroo has a pouch in it. So this is a garment bag that you could actually put things inside, but it's not like those garment bags that have these big outer pockets and that you kind of have to roll along. This is kind of an easy bag. You put your hanging clothes in it, your suit, your dress, whatever it is. It's also great if you're going to a weekend wedding or something like that.
Sure.
And it gives you another use for your garment bag. It has a pouch just like a kangaroo, but this is the Hangaroo.
And you could use it. Did you say did you say you could use it for the gym, right? For anybody who's going to the gym, then to work, and then
everybody who sees it, especially people in New York City, that's the number one thing they say. Oh, this is perfect because I go to the gym and then I go to work.
Exactly.
This is exactly what you need. And Biaggi is a brand that makes, this is what we do. It's not only about foldable luggage. We're trying to move away from the idea that Biaggi makes foldable luggage. Biaggi makes unique travel bags. That's what we do.
Absolutely. And I know you have a few others over there. Real quickly, what else do people expect? Or should they just go to your website and see all of the variety of stuff?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Okay. I think go to the website, Biaggi Luggage. We've been on Shark Tank. We're getting hot.
Yeah, you are hot already. How much did you do in QVC sales this year?
We did about 1.2 million on QVC this year. We sold almost 50,000 bags.
That's amazing.
We sell out almost every single time we're on. We're on shopping channels all over the world. And this is just something that is getting out there right now and has been really, really taking off because honestly, it's an issue that everybody has. I don't know
completely.
anybody.
100%. So I know that's a question that everyone's probably wondering is, how did you get on Shark Tank?
Yeah, so they actually contacted me.
Wow.
One of the producers called me, but it doesn't make me all that special because that's what they do. They go out and look for people and
But
companies.
still, obviously, your
But-
marketing was great. Your
Yeah.
product stood for itself for them to contact you.
I mean, the thing is, I would have never thought myself to go on Shark Tank. I never thought, I'm going to apply to be on Shark Tank. But once I got that call, I was like, all right, I'm getting on. That's it. Nothing's going to stop me.
Absolutely amazing. And I mean, anybody I mentioned that you were coming on the show today, they're like, I've seen him. Oh, I love him. I love the
Yeah,
luggage.
it's such a popular show. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's such an American show too, isn't it?
It's true, but it's really
Right?
nice to see entrepreneurs and people who have really awesome innovations, a place to showcase them.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're all about here, right? In the United States of America, that's what we're all about. So I mean, Shark Tank, it just gets bigger and bigger, and it's been on for 7 seasons now.
Yeah, it's incredible. Well, we're almost out of time. I definitely want to have you back. We have to talk more about Biaggi, about you. You're such an interesting person. I mean,
Thank
you're welcome. We didn't even scratch the surface of what you have going on and what your girlfriend has going on. So we could talk about that next time right here on Michele Johnson's Passport. Stephen Hirsch, thank you so much.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
Thanks so much again. So again, you could see all of the products that Stephen brought into studio today on our website because this show was filmed, so you could check it out on am970theanswer.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, am970theanswer. I'm Michele Johnson on Twitter. You can find the show on Facebook as well. This is just the beginning. If you want to talk to me, if you have anything, any suggestions, feel free to email me, passport@nycradio.com. That's passport@nycradio.com. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday with me. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and I'll see you next Sunday for Valentine's Day on Michele Johnson's Passport. Taste, travel, and live well.
You know, I'm not a genius about money. I love my credit cards, and they love me. I was using them as a source of income, and then I got